Hi there, here's today's spooky story for Halloween. Yesterday I talked some about hearing voices in the house that belong to people who live there and who didn't live there. Today I'm going to tell you two stories about times when we heard voices from people who were not there and never had lived there. So one of the times, Bradley and I had gone up to the house to do some work on the house, because remember, I told you we moved out and it took about a year for the house to sell. And at this point, we hadn't lived at the house for probably 4 or 5 months at least. And we walked in to do some work on the upstairs that evening. And the very first thing that I noticed was the sliding glass doors at the back of the house were just covered in flies, like Amityville Horror kind of covered in flies. And there was no reason for them to be there, because nobody had lived there in a long time. There was no food there, no trash, no nothing, just the empty house and a little bit of stuff for us to work on it. So like paintbrushes and stuff like that. No organic material. So that should have been a clue that day that something was up. So we start to work. We're on the top floor of the house, working on some baseboards up there, restaining them and things like that. And it gets to be about midnight or a little after, and this is probably December or early January at this point. And it was somewhere around midnight. So, and cold out. So we're up there working. We're kind of laying on the hardwood floor, back to back, working on the baseboards, when all of a sudden I hear children laughing and playing in the downstairs living room area. So I get up and I go out there onto that bridge that I talked about yesterday. And there was absolutely nobody there. We listened to it for probably 5-10 minutes before we went to see what was going on. So this had gotten to be, even while we lived there, was a fairly common occurrence. But that was a little odd because we had children's voices in the middle of the night on a very cold night. So it's not like kids were outside playing or anything like that in the summer. But I had a member of our ghost hunting team who kind of she kind of thought the house might be haunted. But when I told her the story of hearing voices there, she was a little skeptical. So one night, a few weeks after that, still cold, we were over at the house. Bradley was going to do some work there. And Carrie and I went and we were just sitting talking. Bradley came down and we were the only 3 in the house. Bradley came down to sit with us for a minute, and all of a sudden, we hear a male and female voice start talking upstairs. And it's like evening time and cold out still, so nobody is really out during this kind of weather. So I looked at her, and her face was like that. And I said, Carrie, do you believe what I've been telling you now? And I said, you want to go see what it is? And so I said, well, I'm going to go. And she said, well, then I'm going to go then, because I don't want to be stuck down here with nobody. So we went up to look. And of course, there was absolutely nobody there. So voices in the house that didn't belong there. In this case, it was a male and a female talking. We could never make out what they were saying ever, any of the times that we heard them. When we heard the children, it sounded like children playing, like running around in the living room, playing tag, that kind of thing. So if you like this story today, please hit the plus button and the like button and follow me, please, because I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers so that I can do some lives. And I hope you enjoyed the story. And if you did, come back tomorrow for another story. Have a great day.